it time. The believers of space call it space. The alchemists and magicians call it Vada, their science. And the knowers of the worlds call it the worlds. The astrologers and astronomers believe that the world has emerged out of the eternal factor called time, and the world is sustained in time and will be merging in time. Therefore, to them, the only real factor is time. Certainly, one need not be a great philosopher to reject the philosophy of this position, since it must be the experience of everyone that time itself is a measure of change, and a changing factor as time cannot in any sense be considered as eternal or unchanging.
Right.
There is a school of thinkers technically called
Swarodaya Vadana. Vadins, yeah.
Okay. There are people who are well versed in reading the future and present implications of sound of birds, lizards, etc. They watch the direction in which these sounds, swars, reach them, and they, making certain calculations, come to some special knowledge. To these people, direction or disha, quarters of space, is the eternal basis of the pluralistic life. There are some translators who have rendered this word to mean disputation. This cannot be sustained when viewed with the eye of the science. Vada here is used in its technical meaning, and Anandagiri has taken it to mean the science of the alchemists and the magicians. There are what we called Dhatuvadins or Mantravadins, etc., who conjure up magic through crystals, chantings, herbs, etc. Their magical art is meant here by the word Vada. To the alchemists, their art is the only real factor in this universe of ever-changing multiplicity. The cosmologists or geographists, Bhavna Kosha Vadas, declare that the 14 worlds, which are very well known in the mythologies, are only realities acceptable to them.
So now you saw that हमने सारे colors देखे हैं India में, right? India में तो सब कुछ ही है. Whatever you say, it resonates with everybody, right? The different kind of. Okay, so let's do one more.
Okay.
Sorry. Mana iti mano vidaha.
Mana iti mano vidaha.
Buddhiriti cha tadvidaha.
Buddhiriti cha tadvidaha.
Chittamiti chitta vidaha.
Chittamiti chitta vidaha.
Dharma dharmo cha tadvidaha.
Dharma dharmo cha tadvidaha.
You're doing a good job reading. You want to read? No?
I can.
If you get tired, then let us know.
Okay. The believers of the mind call the mind as the reality, while the believers of intellect call the intellect as the reality. Similarly, the believers of the chitta, mind stuff, call chitta to be the reality, and the believers of the righteousness, dharma and adharma, call this to be the reality. Here we have another stanza giving us 4 more of the floating theories explaining creation, which were then available at the time of Gaudapada. Laughable indeed are the vagaries of a distorted mind reveling in ignorance. Materialists believe that the mind is the greatest reality in the world, because according to them, but for the mind, the world of experiences would have been impossible. And another school, mainly constituted of the Buddhists, believe that the intellect is the supreme reality. They forget that in the deep sleep state, there is neither the mind nor the intellect, and so the implication would be that the reality as conceived by them now and then takes a holiday from existence. There are still others who are again a school of Buddhists called Yogacharas, who believe that Chitta is the eternal reality. For they say that even if the mind has cognized the sense objects, and even if the intellect has discriminated them, if the illuminating principle, Chitta, does not come into play, neither the perception nor the discrimination can be available for our experience. Thus, in this stanza, we have the three distinct schools of believers who, in varying degrees, fall under the same category as materialists. The distinction between them is only upon which factor of the inner equipment, antahkarna, do they wish to pin on the dignity of reality in their individual philosophies. One school emphasizes upon the feeling and doubting aspect of the inner equipment.
Sankalpa
Pradharna mana. Another insists on the
संकल्प प्रधान होगा संकल्प प्रधान मन हाँ जो संकल्प
ये लोग
करते
साउथ
हैं
इंडिया इसलिए अ लगाते हैं लोग हिंदी में मन बोलते
Sankalp Pradhan
हैं
Mana. Another insists on the eternal nature of the determining, willing aspect, Nishchay
निश्चय
Pradhan Man. And a third insists upon the illuminating faculty in the mental zone, Chitta Pradhan Man.
So ये there is a in Vedanta there is like a एक मन अंतःकरण पहले तो word कहाँ से आया बाह्यकरण is our body बाहर का अंतःकरण अंदर वाला equipment is मन और मन के चार विभाग किए उन्होंने मन बुद्धि चित्त अहंकार. So मन is like at the level of like emotions and mind. Intellect is where we make a decision after all the data is come in, we make a decision. And chit is that illuminating factor, means consciousness when it illumines through our mind, it's called chitta, and some people call it even memory, all the memory we have. And ahankar is this I feeling happens then.
Ego.
Me, ego.
The ego.
So those are the four divisions. So he's saying that some people just believe ye aspect is reality, other one feels this, a third is this, and like that he's saying. They just hang on to one little part of it.
In Gurukul, they used to explain to us, I remember this like
Buddhi Chittankar.
that they used to explain it like a rath. कि रथ है और रथ को चला रहा है, एक्चुअल में तो घोड़ा चला रहा है, फिर सारथी बैठा है. तो अगर तुम सारथी ना हो तो घोड़ा रथ को चला ले जाएगा.
इधर उधर भागेगा वो घोड़ा.
But the only thing is it won't have direction.
Control.
तो अब वो सारथी is the consciousness. सारथी is that's what rules the whole thing. अगर जब तक वो नहीं है तब तक तुम डायरेक्शन नहीं पा सकते.
What you are saying is so true. It's from Kathopanishad actually. And Krishna Bhagwan has used it over here also. And it is like 5 horses are there. Those are 5 senses.
Yes.
Okay? And then
and
बुद्धि की लगाम होनी चाहिए purified बुद्धि में, which is connected to consciousness, you're right. और जो पीछे बैठा है ना अर्जुन, वो है हमारा जीव. Like जीव is like mind and intellect equipment. So देखिए अगर वो लगाम बुद्धि ने नहीं पकड़ी हो ना, तो फिर वो घोड़े इधर उधर भाग के और एक्सीडेंट हो जाएगा. And then
intellect.
हाँ?
Intellect, not consciousness, intellect.
Purified intellect, which is purified intellect is like what?
Because then intellect is making the decisions. वो
I know, but
जो-
it is what he talks
जो
about.
5 senses है, then मन बुद्धि चित्त अहंकार, जिस जो हम लोग कर रहे
I
हैं.
know, but it's very what kind of intellect he's talking about. And Joe always talks about that सहज intellect जो वो higher से जुड़ जाता है ना, वो वाला intellect. Because जब हम लोग दुनिया वाला intellect use करते हैं ना, तो हमेशा गलत decision लेते हैं.
Well,
हमेशा नहीं, many times.
50%, right? 50%.
Yeah, exactly. I think that I
Depending on
understand
your
where
luck,
he is coming
then
from.
you say it's my luck.
Yeah.
So I was lucky, I did this, and then I lost. Then I say, oh, I made bad decision.
So जब होता है ना कि ऊपर वाले से जुड़ के करो, तो तुमको
then
पाप
you
नहीं
get the
लगता,
direction,
and
yeah.
then you don't become the भोक्ता and the कर्ता.
अकर्ता मोड में.
Akarta mode is that when it's purified intellect, it is established in that, when we talk about established in the Turiya, established in the higher self and all that. So that's the symbolism behind the whole thing.
Become
And
an observer of your body. Let it happen.
Yeah. But उसकी लगाम तुम वो वहाँ पर दे के रखो. इसलिए कृष्ण भगवान को बिठाया ना वहाँ पे. There's a whole symbolism
नहीं,
behind it.
कृष्ण भगवान ने बोलो कहाँ जाना है, उसको पूछा कि मैं चलाऊं रथ.
लेकिन
He was
एडवाइस किससे
asking
ले
him.
रहा है वो?
No, but he was asking him to
Of
say,
course.
direct me.
Because
I am your sarthi.
we have a choice. God has given us the choice. God never forces us.
Imposes, yeah.
And that's why in Bhagavad Gita also I said in
No,
chapter
but he
18.
says in Gita, he
क्या?
says, end में,
एंड में बोला ना कि
कि
तुमको
कहाँ ले
जो-
जाना है बोलो,
हाँ.
मैं तुम्हारा सारथी हूँ.
बट उसने बोला कि फिर अर्जुन ने बोला मेरे को अपनी स्मृति वापस आ गई है.
हाँ.
You know, there is a whole verse, it's a beautiful verse, you know, कि now I am established and
Yeah.
I know I'm going to fight.
मिडिल में ले चलो.
Yeah. So,
Very nice.
None of these arguments can be acceptable to one who has come to recognize the insentient and inert nature of the mind as such when it is deprived of the life, the conscious principle.
just 1 second. So here
Yeah.
everybody understands that mind is also matter.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying, that if it is not powered by the consciousness, mind is nothing.
Lastly, we have in this stanza a theory generally propounded by the
Mimanskas.
Mimanskas. To them, dharma and adharma, punya and pap, virtue and vice, are the fundamental realities which are the basis of the universe. To them, the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the world is regulated, controlled, and ordered by the meritorious or otherwise actions of the past, and the actions of the present would similarly determine and order the world of the future. But we all know that each dharma and adharma can have an existence only with reference to the other. Thus, their reality would be at all moments depending upon another dissimilar factor, and a pair of interdepending factors cannot themselves constitute the eternal principle. Two kings reigning over the same country cannot either be, in any sense of the term, a king. Each will necessarily be limiting the kingship of the other.
So he's just saying that how all these theories have limitations. And then moment you go a little deeper into it, you see the futility of these theories कि वो उसमें दम नहीं रह जाता, बोलते हैं हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, दम नहीं है. He's going to say that why what he's saying. He's just proving his theory by all these things. So anyway.
So I want this more clarification about this, how this whole thing is operating. ये अभी आपने बताया ना, शरीर, चित्त, अहंकार, ये सब. I want, can you briefly describe all that again?
You mean, you know, from the Mandukya Upanishad, what they told us that ultimate substratum is the one that is ultimate reality. Everything else is appearance in this world. And then as human beings, we have 3 experiences that we know. तो उसके अंदर सब कुछ आ जाता है एक्चुअली ये शुरू हुआ ओम से कि भाई ओम सिंबल वो अल्टीमेट रियलिटी का है, उसमें पास्ट प्रेजेंट फ्यूचर जो अभी तक नहीं हुआ है सब एवरीथिंग इज एनकम्पसिंग इट, माइंड बॉडी इंटेलेक्ट एवरीथिंग. एंड द 3 एक्सपीरियंसेस में वेकिंग, deep, dreaming and deep sleep. So when you're talking about mind and everything, when you are deep sleep, mind is folded also. है कि नहीं?
See, this is the waking state, the first Uki Matra. This one.
Vaishvanara.
This one is the
Vaishvanar, yeah.
Vaishvanara.
waking, and this is the sleeping, and this is the deep sleep state, and then this is the Maya, the Chand, and the Bindi is the Turiya. That's a different stage. We all should aspire
That
to go
3
there.
गुण से अतीत हो गया हो तुम.
Any animal, any man, whoever is existing will have all these 3 stages in life. The waking, and we think the waking world is the Maya. We think it's the reality. Most people think that's the reality.
But it's telling you that that's also
That's
like a
not-
dream only.
It's a dream.
So आप जो बोल रहे हैं वो सब उसी में आ जाता है. So on one hand दुनिया चलाने के लिए we have to understand the mechanics, उतनी उसकी वैल्यू है हमारे माइंड वगैरह की भी. And this morning I was thinking कि हम लोग जो है ना पूरा जिंदगी भर लगा देते हैं अपनी फैमिली और वो घर और फलाना ढिकड़ा पता नहीं क्या क्या करते रहते हैं पागलों की तरह, राइट? एंड में when we die, it's like finished in 1 second. So our birth cannot be just to do that. It will be so futile if it was. So has to be some higher purpose.
So
Even from the worldly perspective.
I'll made a chart for my book, which I'll bring next time.
Very good.
It covers most of this because your world is this globe. And you can expand it as much you want. You can
Right.
make multi-dimensional, you can make all this stuff. everything we are reading. But the ultimate is when you are gone. So when you are gone, there are two conditions only. Either you come back
Right.
or you are gone
March.
for good.
Yes, yes.
So that's where the whole thing ends.
That's true.
So when you come back, you keep expanding your globe. And then everyone's is unique. So your globe is different,
Different than
and
mine,
we intersect. So that's where the commonality starts to show up. So then there are various stages, which you can go through to expand that. In fact, that one chart I sent long time ago, you may not have seen that, is by Meher Baba.
Yeah, that's a good chart.
That is a very good chart. It explains all the way from total pralaya to how mountains were formed, how Darwin's theory came in, how human being came in, and how the intellect, the decision of the intellect makes you grow. And then he talks about the 7 stages before you go and merge back. So he has done all that in one chart, I'll send you that.
Basically, when the child is born, he knows it has connection with God. But then, because our memory, God makes us forget, so that He gives us a free will that to remember Him. And how late in stage in life we remember Him, that's the thing it is. And what our aim in earth is, should we grow spiritually.
Spiritually, that's the main
And
aim,
what
and we
is
forget.
spiritually
That's
is,
what I was
what is
getting
growing
at.
spiritually is being a good person. Basically, that's what it is. Don't tell lies, do the good deeds. Be good, kind to
So हम
everybody.
अपना जो
So
main
that's how
purpose
you're
है,
growing spiritually.
वही भूल जाते हैं, वही मैं कह रही थी.
And through Buddhism also they say the 8 actions the same thing. Don't be greedy, don't be
Right. If you see all the religions say the same. वो बोलते हैं love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
I mean the same.
They all do.
So let's finish the prayer.
Sukhinah
Sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Asito Ma Satgamaya,
Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Trayambakam
Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat.
Om Purnamada
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmeva Tena Kantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina.
You give me this Xerox and bring it. We want to do the.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We can